Alright guys, we are back with some more MX versus ATV Legends, and today we have two new tracks to show you. The final two tracks to the 2025 Monster Energy Supercross Track Pack DLC. These two tracks are great. They are great, but I do have some stuff I want to say about it, especially pertaining to the future of MX versus ATV, which will be at the very end of the video. If you are curious, I really want to know what you guys think, but let's just jump into it and check out these first two tracks. Or I should say, final two tracks. Okay, so first up, we have 2025 Denver here. Now, I have a handful of laps and then a first-person one. Now, I did it all in time attack. There were a few comments that were asking to not do it in free ride and to race the bots or do time attack because the track is, it looks kind of boring, right? So there were a few comments. This is for you. Hopefully this is okay, but I do want to say before we jump into the track that the reason I do it in free ride is because I'm not that good at the game, and so to reset myself in free ride, which I do very often, is way easier, way faster than restarting and having to load the whole track in. So that's the reason I do free ride for the most part, but if you prefer it this way, let me know in the comments, and we'll try to mostly do it in time attack here. Now, Denver, easy track. It appears to be an easy track, but it actually is a bit difficult. So after the Supercross triple, that first big rhythm, that corner is really tough because it's rough. There's a bit of drag, and it makes it kind of hard to try to get that triple. I don't know if that's the fastest way. It feels like tripling in and then jumping to the tabletop definitely isn't the best because one, it's a really rough landing, and two, having that big jump to double into the corner doesn't feel that great. So I didn't have a ton of time to test these tracks, but that's kind of how I preferred to hit that section. It wasn't easy. Like I said, the triple in is kind of tough because you have to almost square off the corner just to be able to skip over the rough stuff to be able to hit the triple in. But yeah, Denver, really well done. I mean, all the tracks so far have been really good. I don't have any major complaints. This rhythm is a bit different. It kind of gets us over that big jump where we were doubling into the corner. I don't know if it's better, but it felt better. So there's a lot of different ways you can take Denver here. Again, it was an easier track. It appeared to be an easier track, but it could be kind of tough. If you don't hit the whoops just right, trying to get the triple, or probably players can quad. Maybe if you carried a bunch of speed and hit it just right, you could probably quinto 5 into that bad boy. So really good players can probably do a lot of different stuff than what I'm doing here, but it's just kind of what I was trying to say, that the track, even if it appears easy, it wasn't. And then here we have a first person lap, because in this game, to be completely honest with you, I prefer playing in third person, but the first person in this game is some of the best, maybe one of the best first person cameras I've seen in a motocross game. I wish I could customize it a little bit more than what we do, but that's a minor complaint. The first person camera feels good, and I'm not very good in first person, but I can still kind of get around even a Supercross track, even a pretty difficult Supercross track. No, Denver isn't extremely difficult, but Salt Lake was pretty crazy, and we do have a first person lap for you from that track as well. So yeah, I mean, we've seen this track in Supercross 25. I feel like it resembles that. We actually hit a different line there, one that I haven't done yet in first person. So yeah, there we go. We have 2025 Denver in the books, and the finale, 2025 Salt Lake. Now, this track is wild, very tricky, very technical, just pretty crazy. So you can quad into this corner. That's the only time I do it. It isn't difficult. It isn't really that hard. And then I mess up this rhythm section and we do it different. There's a better way to do it. But the reason I don't really quad over the step on, step off anymore is because that corner is really tight and pretty slippery. So to try to be set up and ready to hit the next rhythm section, it was easier for me to control myself if I step on, step off. Not the best way, but that's what I prefer to do. And then we have the whoops and then 4 jumps. Now, there is a super sweet line you can take there. I believe I show you on the next lap. And then here I wanted to go after the finish because I mess up a corner. And then you can actually double over the start straight, and that gives you a completely different rhythm in that short rhythm section. So I wouldn't say that's the best way, but if you mess it up, you can still do something with it, right? So this lap would be probably the best one. Excuse me. The best one I have. Here we hit this better. Now, to get the quad out, it isn't that bad, but I always came up a bit short. I don't know why. I think I was missing the preload or the clutch boost or whatever. And then we hit this rhythm pretty good. But the thing about this lap, the best part about it, is the whoop section. So what I started doing was jumping into him. And I kind of mess it up, but we triple out over that first jump and then triple into the corner. That is super sick. And it isn't that bad to do. It isn't that difficult to do because of the way you can time yourself if you jump through the whoops. I do it a couple times. I believe I do it for a different lap as well. And it's just really cool. I mean, it's similar. We saw a line kind of similar to that from Pittsburgh. Was it Pittsburgh? And I always think it's so cool to have a line out of the whoop section where you can kind of jump. If there's jumps after the whoops where you can jump over something from the whoop section, I just find that really cool. So yeah, I believe, in my opinion, that probably would be the best way. Now, if you're really good at blitzing them, you could triple, you could probably quad. I wouldn't be surprised if you can get a good run through the whoops, and blitz them, you probably could quad. Man, I don't know, that's pretty far. Maybe you could quad, but you for sure could triple or single over the first jump and then triple, kind of what I've been doing here. So Salt Lake City, very well done. A little bit tricky, a little bit difficult. Here we have the first person lap, and I actually did better than I thought I would do here. We don't hit every line. We go for some of the smaller ones around the track, but yeah, it's challenging. I don't know. Rainbow Studios did a very good job with this 2025 Monster Energy Supercross Track Pack DLC. In my opinion, every track was really well done. The scaling could be a bit big, but the way the game works, and they've done, they did it with the expert tracks. They kind of gave us a taste of it before they actually implemented it into the game for the replicas. These tracks were fun. Were really well done and fun, and I definitely, in my opinion, these tracks are even better than the 2024 ones. So there we go, wrapping up the 2025 Monster Energy Supercross Track Pack DLC. Now, here at the very end of the video, we are at 2024 Wugal. At the time, this would have been the race that was coming up, but by the time you see the video, the race would have happened. So I don't know the results or whatever, but yeah, so I kind of want to go over, and I talked about it in the video before from Pittsburgh, East Rutherford, that video, and I did get some comments from you guys. I really appreciate it to see how you feel. I kind of proposed the question of what kind of tracks do you want to see, because I've seen it be very split. Some people really wanted the Pro Motocross replica tracks, which I do believe we're probably getting. Some people don't. Some people want original, back to their roots, MX versus ATV tracks. And so what I want to say is that I agree. I do love the replicas and whatnot, and I don't know which is more difficult. Maybe it's more difficult to do the real life replica stuff because they have to get licensing and all kinds of legal stuff done. But they have something to go off of. They don't have to create from scratch. I mean, they have to make it, but they don't have to design it. Well, they have to design it too, but they have a layout to go off of, right? And then you have the original stuff where maybe they don't have the licensing as much legal, but they have to be creative. They have to design something completely new that they don't even know what it's going to be yet. So I don't know which is more difficult, but in my opinion, I love the replica stuff, but we've been getting it for years now, and they could keep doing it if they want, but I really would prefer to see original stuff. Go back to Unleashed, go back and try to get inspiration there. Do some really crazy, wild stuff. I mean, the Supercross World Tour DLC was great. From back in MX vs. ATV All Out, we had the Slash DLC, which was super cool. Do stuff like that. Go to a volcano. Go to a jungle. One idea I thought would be really cool is to do a night and day track. I mean, just something wild and crazy. Half the track is daytime, half the track is nighttime. Just a line separating them. Just go crazy with it, right? So, hey, trademark, if that gets used by MX versus ATV, you heard it here first, folks, right? But, yeah, I'd be really curious to see how you guys feel about it. I know you already kind of said, but if you have any ideas, and would you like to see crazy, real crazy, real wild stuff, or just some original tracks, but more realistic? That is what I would be really curious to see for the future of MX versus ATV. So these tracks were great, but I would like to start seeing some new original stuff from Rainbow Studios. So you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.